I figured to revisit a game that introduced me to survival games, if it didn't start the survival game genre, other than Minecraft introduced me to survival mechanisms or aspects or features. But it's actually a franchise. Well, only 2 games are released, and the third game is still being worked on. And of course, it is a standard franchise developed by Unreal Software. So then the franchise might have introduced me to the survival game genre, if it didn't start it. No relations to Unreal Engine. I wanted to make a short about unless games were developed using it, but at least which were released weren't developed using it. Well, both games were developed in Plex 3D or using Plex 3D. I can't remember which game of this franchise I played first, but I remember beating one of them. So I wanted to make a review on the first game. But this happens. No matter what I do, in most cases the main menu works, but trying to load the game in just freezes, plus alt-tapping crashes the game. The latest one I found out because I wanted to see if the game is recording normally. Even after I got help from a post that I made on a forum for which I got into my old account. Nothing worked. So that's why the video on Strander 2 is either the first or only one video about this franchise until the third game gets released. The latest update was in February, when I last checked it before writing the script. However, for which the gameplay footage was recorded like you already see it. Well, for the first game I didn't using a virtual machine, but I eventually figured out settings for it, the virtual machine, and maybe playing the game through the virtual machine won't need way too much resource. And I even gotten OS on which another one can't work perfectly, again decent, or can't work faster than my menu. Like I don't have the specific OS installations. Anyways, this video is about Stranded 2. By the way, both games are free to play, completely free, so if possible, I'll leave the link in the description to the website, and maybe has a iCard. Well, there are different game modes, but I'll start with Adventure mode, and I'll cover other game modes later in the video. The premise for Adventure mode is that after buying a yacht, he got into a thunderstorm and thundered his ship, and then he found himself stranded on an uninhabited island, and so now he needs to survive. Along while he gets back to civilizations, or back to his usual house. And yeah, I said E because there is male voice for him, and there is a name for him. Which can get annoying, the voice, when you try to do something that you can't do. Also the sound effect for it can get annoying. That's when you're trying to do something that you can't. Speaking about what you can do, it is of course resource collecting with fake limitations, hunger, thirst, and fatigue. About building. How can I say it? I I guess there are preset buildings, just complete buildings, like there aren't present walls and parts like that, so you can change the size of the building and you can customize the building. And I guess that wasn't a good explanation. Building is only like this. And of course you don't have access to all of the buildings as a start. Under completing some buildings, under gets unlocked. And you can see locked buildings. The building process is at the start placing where you want the building to be, for which camera angle is changed, and then is resource collecting and adding resource to the building. Speaking about resource collecting, well, because of fake mechanisms, just going back and forth when building anything, and which make unnecessary feels the anchor, depth and darkness part. But I guess that's part of survival game genre. If only the maximum effect you can carry will increase over time, like the character will become stronger, that the character goes hold more, like something similar for other stuff is already in game. More about it later in the video. It's not only resource collecting but also crafting, but mostly it's trail and iron. You can't see crafting recipes unless it's the right combinations, even without enough resource. Well, some items have hints about what you can craft with it. Crafting is trying to combine 2 or more items from inventory. Wait, actually? Well, technically, some items can be used only by themselves to craft a different item, but that works differently. Of course, for anchor you need to find food, thirst you need to drink water, and being dry you need to sleep, and which is auto-save. Yeah, in this game you don't respawn, you just stay, and then you need to load the latest save file. About water, it's possible to drink ocean water, but it's not good for you, because of course it's salt water. So you need to either craft water or find a drinkable water source. About food, of course there are animals, even hostile animals from which you can get meat. And then there are fruit and vegetables, some of which you can plant like berries and grain. So that's more or less about survival that you need to keep in mind other than hostile animals. Of course for fish there is combat, which is just fine. It works fine for this game, and for the time it was released. Well, it is understandable for the time it was why combat is like that. But of course there are different weapons. For example, later you can get or craft some kind of gun. There are melee weapons, which most souls make for his melee weapons, and ranged weapons for which ammo is needed. However, for example, for slingshots there is weird ammo prioritization. Like berries for some reason get prioritized when I add pebbles as ammo for it. After I put berries in inventory and I switch off slingshot and back to it. And I haven't figured out to change, or if it's possible to change, ammo for the weapons other than taking unlimited ammo out of the inventory. Well, maybe I missed about it in the survival guide. Well, the character phrase the entry switches that needs to be done in some tutorial, sometimes a fake tutorial, sometimes it's teach you what needs to be done. Also doing more of things like lampering, hunting, and other stuff, then you get better at those things. And of course, like before, it's also applies to other stuff, but not increasing the capacity over time, which makes you either just go back and forth or just drop items. Of course, I didn't finish the game before writing this script, because I think I learned more or less about the gameplay a lot. Maybe I didn't experience some myself, and maybe some features didn't age well. But it's understandable why that's the case. If I have time, I'll continue playing, but then playing games for review videos, and maybe other stuff will take time away from it.
Brilliant.
I'm good there is more of this, like other game modes. Random Iceland is basically the same as Untethered, but I think on randomly generated Iceland, with some limitations like needing to choose terrain signs and maybe other options of the island, without any goal or setting a goal, playing on easy, normal or hard difficulty. Plus from it you can access Raptor Hunter. Now about custom islands, each where you can access survival guide, that links the game's basics. Then there is a color game, which is basically a assignment game. Tower defense, where you are character and with it your towers can harm you. But you can't fight it in it, or maybe after some you can't. And shooting range, where you can practice your aim. Well, you can download more custom islands from website, supposed to be community made, the maps or islands, but there isn't much uploaded and the page for them isn't translated to English. The website's page. And yeah, I said community made islands because there is an editor where you can make your own custom island. In some instances, I noticed the game is slow FPS, but after fall, either I got used to it or the FPS increased. Either I completed it before getting away from the island using Adapt, but that was started planned if I recall correctly. Even if I didn't finish the game correctly, I still like the game and it's interesting, and I understand some problems come from the time when it was released. And because it's free to play, completely free, I can recommend it to you. And hopefully it will work for you, and maybe try to see if you can get Stranded fund to work for you. Of course, even trying it a little bit is fine. This time it will only take your time. Thanks for watching all of the video. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, like the video, subscribe and comment. See you next time.